Good morning, my most amazing art students. Miss Levy here. I am not there today, obviously, but I have a great plan for your substitute. And it's an old plan, but it's going to be new to Carver. So when I was at another school and I was out one day, I didn't want that day to be a waste. So I wanted to make sure that they all had amazing art that they created, and we turned that art into something really cool. So I got inspired by one of my very favorite art teachers named Kelsey Stevens, and she had a sub-plan where she had the kids create feathers because she was inspired by a street artist named Kelsey Montague. Now, street art means that you take art to the street, and so people can interact with it when they're on their way to work. People can take pictures in front of it, and it's visible to everyone. You don't have to go to an art museum to have street art. So we're gonna have school art, but I think it'd be kind of cool if you guys could create some feathers for me today, and that way we can put all those feathers together into some really giant wings. And she likes to put the hashtag next to her art, what lifts you? And so we will be putting that hashtag with ours and kind of inspiring all of our Carver people around to see how awesome we are. So I hope that you can hear my cat. I hope that you are doing a good job today for your substitute. I hope the substitute knows that I do have a happy and a sad board. So if they get more marks on the happy side than the sad side, that means that they get to clip forward so that they can get a reward in the class. But this video is kind of long, so if you wanted to play it while you're working, that's totally fine. Today's supplies you will need. Oh, first of all, I make messes. I make mistakes. But deep inside, I got what it takes. I am an artiste. Okay, feel that in your soul. You are going to have 3 things from the art store today. You need a feather tracer, a piece of paper, and a Sharpie, and maybe some markers. So Sharpies or markers in there somewhere. And so maybe 4 things. I hope you do a good job. I cannot wait to see all your feathers.
Okay, friends, so you're gonna have a blank piece of paper. Now, I'm going to leave some tracing plates there on the table. If you wanna use those, you can. You don't have to by any means. But you're gonna draw a feather type shape. I'm drawing mine in Sharpie. You can certainly draw yours in pencil first, and then trace over it with Sharpie. Okay, so you're gonna draw your feather, and then I'd like you to divide up the space into some sections. So we're gonna fill those sections, just some really simple ones. We're gonna fill those sections with some pattern. You can do, again, any pattern that you want. But you want variation in your pattern. You don't want to make them all the same. I think I'm going to do some polka dots in mine. You can do polka dots. You can do all kinds of things. You can do stripes. I'm going to fill it in with pattern. Maybe I'll make this one be striped this way. And maybe I'll do a loop-de-loop. And maybe I'll make it curved. But whatever you do, you're gonna wanna repeat it in just that section. Okay, now that I've got it filled in, I'm gonna fill it in with colored pencil. Now the piece of paper that you have there, you're gonna notice that the feathers are pretty big because we're gonna make a really big mural. So you're gonna wanna use the entire length of the piece of paper. You're not gonna draw a little itty bitty feather because on the mural, you wouldn't be able to see it. It would be way too small. Okay, so I'm using some of the colored pencils that I have at home today. But you have colored pencils at your table, but you're gonna wanna use, not coloring lightly, because if you color too lightly, it's not gonna stand out, and you wanna be able to see your feather on the mural. So you're gonna color dark. If you color too lightly, that will be a light value, and that value, again, is one of those secret elements of art. Value helps add interest to your artwork. Now I'm going to use orange polka dots here, but I'm not going to color my whole feather orange. That's pretty lazy. I'm going to use lots of different colors, lots of different values, and to create interest in my feather. Now I can make this whole section be orange, but see how I'm using a lighter value here so that it creates interest in this section. So I'm working quickly, but I'm gonna speed it up for you guys here now. Okay, so it's all done. Multiple colors, lots of different value, lots of different pattern, my own unique feather, okay? And you're gonna take some scissors. You have your own pair at your table, and you're going to cut it out. Remember, I'm using my helping hand, which is my hand that I don't write with, to turn the paper for me. If you don't have time to cut it out today, that's fine. We'll cut it out when I come back to class. But you're gonna wanna use your class time to really be thoughtful and careful about doing a good job on your feather, because again, it's going to go in the class. Actually, the entire school that's coming to art today is going to be making one of these feathers. So we're gonna have hundreds and hundreds of feathers on our Kelly Montague What Lifts You Up mural that we're gonna have at school. So you're gonna wanna do a good job because your feather is going to be on display. So now that it's almost already cut out, then it's gonna be super important that you write your name on the back, not on the front of your feather, but on the back of your feather. And you're gonna use one of these handy dandy things called a pencil, because if you write it in Sharpie, it's going to ruin your artwork. You can see on the back side here that you can see the Sharpie poking through. You don't wanna ruin your artwork. So I'm gonna write Miss Lee.
Okay, that's it. All you have to do. If you have time to cut out the feather, you can. If you didn't have time for it, don't worry about it. Just make sure your name is on it. Name on the back, not in Sharpie, in a pencil. Okay. See you when I get back on Thursday. I'll be back. Be good.